Hi everyone, it's Caitlyn here. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and I do encourage you to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any future uploads. Now, I know it has been a hot minute since I have posted on here. I have been gone, like missing in action, like gone. Seriously, it's been ridiculous, but where's my phone? There it is. Okay, so I've got some talking points on here that I'm going to go through today because there's just so much that has been going on and so much that I want to talk about, and it's just been like a seriously rough time for me. Yeah, so I'm sorry if I repeat things. I'll try not to repeat things, but sorry for how long this is going to be, but I feel like I need to sit and talk to you guys because it's been way too long. Let's just have a mom chat, shall we? Okay, so I'm going to bring up my notes right here so that I don't miss anything while I'm talking to you. Okie dokie. Chit chat, here we go. So hey, how are you? How you doing? I'm okay. We'll get into that. We'll get into how I feel in a few minutes. But how are you? How have you been doing during this crazy pandemic? Is everything okay? You hanging in there? How's depression or anxiety? How's that treating you? Like, if you need to talk, I'm here. Feel free to reach out to me on my social media. Like, I am going through the exact same thing. Depression, postpartum depression, anxiety. It is my life. So no, you're not alone. You're doing a great job. You can do this. Hang in there. Everyone loves you. Love yourself. We got this. We're gonna make it, okay? So, like I said, I'm going to go through my notes that I have here and just talk about everything that has been going on. And first, I just wanted to check in with you, make sure everything's okay, let you know that I'm here for you. If you need me, go to my socials, talk to me. I understand. I will be there morning, night, afternoon, whenever you need me, because I don't sleep. Yeah, it's my life right now. So, starting off, giving birth to twins. So, giving birth to twins is no freaking joke. It was rough, as you know. Went into the hospital at 24 weeks, got admitted because of my cervix shortening. If you have followed my journey, you already know this, but I'm just going to give you the quick rundown if you are new here. Was admitted to the hospital an hour away, lived at the hospital from 24 weeks until 33 weeks when I gave birth to the twins, and that was a shit show. It was horrible. I was an hour away from Matthew and Jack, and he was growing up without me home, and it was like the worst 3 months of my life. And then the pandemic hit. Yeah, so I gave birth to the babies during the beginning of the pandemic, and it was ridiculous. So I went into labor, had Sophie first at 5:45 in the morning, and then I had Frankie at 5:50. Or sorry, Frankie was 5:50. Yeah, my bad. Sorry, lack of sleep is really getting to me. Then I had them. I went back into my post-delivery room and regained some strength, and they went immediately to the NICU with Matthew. Now, meanwhile, on the news, everything is starting to like kind of spread. There was talk about COVID-19 and how there's some cases that came into Toronto from when they were visiting China and all of that stuff, and we're like, it's the flu, like it can't get that serious. And apparently it was that serious and still is that serious. So the hospital went on full lockdown immediately after I gave birth. So only Matthew and I were allowed in the room with the babies, and it was thankfully, because we had two babies, it was one parent to one baby. So I had one, Matthew had the other. So thank goodness that I had twins for that sake, so we could both be there with them. Now finally they were released back to Sarnia to be closer to home, because we had to stay in London for a week with them until they could transfer safely to Sarnia, and that Sarnia was able to care for them safely. Like they had the technology, let's say. They didn't need the breathing or anything like that. They were well equipped for after 34 weeks. So when we got to Sarnia, lockdown was serious again, and unfortunately this time it was one parent in general. So I had to move in by myself with the babies, and Matt had to be at home with Jack. So once again, I was away from home, I was away from my baby boy, I was away from my husband, I was away from everything. But I was with my 2 newborn baby boy and baby girl, and it was rough because the first few days I came down with a uterine infection, and I talked about that in my last video. They had to take a bunch of blood. I had to wear a mask. Like everyone was prepping like I had COVID. It was ridiculous, and I felt like I was gonna die. The pain, the immense pain that I was in was ridiculous. I had a very high fever, some chest pains. It was no joke. But thankfully, they found, after a bunch of testing and ultrasounds and x-rays of my chest, they ruled out COVID, and it was a uterine infection. So I was put on antibiotics, and I was able to stay in the hospital with my babies and take care of them. And shortly after, I was sent home because there were still no positive cases in Lambton. So I was safe from anyone in the hospital possibly having COVID. But a bunch of the nurses here work at Lambton, and they also worked across the border in Michigan. Now, Michigan's numbers were increasing at rapid amounts, and shortly after, I think it was like 4 or 5 days after we got home, they closed the borders. They said that no one could work at 2 places. Everyone could only work at one place. They chose their place of employment, and that's where you had to stay. No jumping around, no mix matching. You were in Canada, or you were in the United States, you were at the hospital, or you were in a nursing home, and that is how it went. So thankfully, when we got home, that's when cases started flooding into Lambton Hospital, and I am so thankful that we got sent home. Babies were a-okay to come home. Feeding tubes were gone. Their heart problems were gone. Not really heart problems, but they were constantly bratty, and it was very, very scary because they just stopped breathing, but they were able to fix it themselves. So that's why we were able to go home. Babies are fine. Everyone's doing fine now, but I'm so glad that we are home, because we got home, because the COVID cases went absolutely nuts. When I got home, we had no groceries, none. Like, from living in the hospital in London to coming home to Sarnia, because Matthew had to live at the hospital with me for a month because I had a pre-labor scare at 29.5 weeks, and then I didn't have them until 33 weeks. So Matthew was living with me at the hospital. Jackson was with my mother and father-in-law, and we had no groceries at home. We had nothing. So I came home, we got groceries. The pandemic was ridiculous. The store shelves were cleared out. It was nuts. And then that's when I went to live in Sarnia Hospital. So thankfully we got some groceries, but not near enough that we needed. Like, we were bare bones, like we just needed to eat. And so unfortunately we just got a few things like boxed Kraft dinner and some Mr. Noodles and stuff. But Matthew and Jackson managed with that stuff, thankfully, because I wasn't home to eat it anyway. So there was that, because I was just ravenous. I had to eat all the time. But continuing on from there. Yeah, the NICU life was ridiculous. I finally got discharged. We got to come home. COVID went absolutely mad and bonkers, and then we were wearing masks. Like, we stayed in our house. No visitors, no one came in, no one left. We literally were in our house, confined with our preemie twins, because they're super vulnerable. They haven't had their shots yet. Their immune system is compromised, right? Like, they can't fight off anything right now. At the time. So we had family come over for window visits. So we would stand in front of our back window, and they would be on the opposite side, and that is the only way that they could see their second and third grandchild. Jackson was the first. So their second and third babies, grandbabies, they could only see through a window. They never got to hold them. They never got to touch them, nothing. Like, they came out of me and that was it. They were never near them. They were always looking at them through glass. And we had family members come and drop off groceries outside for us. We would get them with gloves, wipe everything down, bring them in. It was a madhouse. And then with Jackson being 2 and having newborn twins and being in the hospital for 3 months, my mind was just going bonkers. I couldn't take it. And we had no help whatsoever. We couldn't ask my mom or his mom to come over and give us some help. We literally had to do it all on our own with 2 new babies and a 2-year-old. I cried so much. Matthew and I relied on each other like no tomorrow. There was no help. There was no nothing. Like, it was such a stressful time because I couldn't just call up my mom and be like, hey, can you come over and just take one of them so I can get a moment to myself and stop crying and shower and brush my hair. It was ridiculous. And for about 4 months, the first 4 months were like that. I never thought I would give birth to babies, let alone twins, during a global pandemic. And not having my family being able to be in the house and help me was absolutely terrible. Like, it was horrible. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. And I know a bunch of other people went through it too, but it was really, really hard. And it's still out there. It's still going crazy. Like, you have to wear a mask when you go into stores. Matthew does the grocery shopping because I don't leave the house with the babies. The only time we leave the house is going straight to either my mom's or his mom's just for a quick visit so they can see them. And they're very, very careful. They wash their hands. They make sure they haven't been in contact with anyone else. It's just, it's been a lot and it's been crazy. Like, my mental health has been struggling for so long now. Like, since I was admitted to the hospital, that's when my depression really took a hit. And coming home from the hospital, not having anyone to help but Matthew, I was just sinking. I was sinking deep in postpartum depression and I had no one. Like, it was tough. Like, I don't mean that I didn't have no one. I could talk to my mom, or I could talk to his mom, or I could talk to Matthew, but you know what I mean. I couldn't physically have someone come into the house and give me a fucking break, you know? I just needed a break, that's it. And I didn't have that. But thankfully now that it is 5 months past the initial beginning of the pandemic and the babies are now 5 months old, family members can come in the house now. They've had their first set of shots. It's not as absolutely crazy as it was at the very beginning, or 2 months in, or 3 months in. It's 5 months now. I mean, I know it's still out there. It's still here. It's not gone. We are just better at taking care of ourselves to make sure that we don't spread it by wearing masks and washing our hands and taking the proper precautions when seeing people. So thankfully now I can actually have help. I can call up my mom and she can be here in an instant just to take the babies for the day, like, just so I can have a breath, have a shower, eat shit, you know what I mean? Just have some freaking me time. So thankfully I have that now. Sorry, I'm rambling. I'm deeply sorry about this. So after I had the twins, as you know, when I was pregnant with them, I didn't really look much pregnant. I was really hoping to have a big fat pregnant belly because I was pregnant with twins now. With Jackson, I didn't get a huge pregnant belly. It was just, it was kind of like, I looked like I was 5 months pregnant before I pooped him out. And with the twins, I only had them in me until 33 weeks, and I still only looked like I was maybe 5 months pregnant with one baby. It was ridiculous. Like, I wanted a big fat belly. But after I had them, the day I had them, I weighed 182. I remember doing the check-in with the nurses. I weighed 182 pounds. And after I had them, which was about 10 hours after I had them, I weighed myself again, and I was 175. Then when I came home, after when I came home with them from Sarnia, I weighed, what was it? I think I got back down to 161, and my starting weight was 160 before I got pregnant. Then I started nursing. Yay. So most women, amazing for you, you lose weight while you breastfeed. I am the opposite. My body instantly stores everything I eat into fat. No matter what I eat, no matter the calories, I can eat a lot of calories, I can eat little calories, it does not matter. I gain weight when I breastfeed. So I am now at 175 again. And it is depressing because I reached 160 and I wanted to stay 160 for when I was done breastfeeding, because when I start working out and losing weight, the first thing to go is my titties. And I don't have very much titties. Like, they are, I mean, they're there, they're just not very happy to see you, you know. So I was hoping to stay at 160 with ginormous breastfeeding boobs, but now I've gained 15 pounds, and the first thing to go when I lose weight and stop breastfeeding is going to be my boobs again. So I'm definitely getting a boob job when I am all done breastfeeding and done having babies. Matthew already agreed on it. We had to talk about it. It is okay that I'm going to get fake titties because I want them. My boobs are sad, wet tube socks after breastfeeding. It is ridiculous. So that is what's happening with my chesticles. Next on the topic, like I said, my weight loss, my depression, I kind of went over all of that with the whole pandemic and how I was doing. I am still struggling daily with my depression. I haven't quite bonded yet with the twins. I know that sounds terrible. With Jackson, it took till he was 9 months for me to bond with him. And it was tough. I felt like a terrible mom. I felt like I was betraying him and betraying myself. Like, this is something that I should just be naturally able to do. I should look at my baby and love them instantly. And I looked at the twins, and there they were, but they weren't mine. Like, I couldn't feel it. I couldn't sense it, and I still don't feel it. I know they're there. I know they're mine, obviously, but I don't feel like they're mine. I don't feel that bond. They're just screaming, vomit, shit-filled tenants who don't pay rent in my house. That is my situation with them right now, and I love them. They're mine, but I don't feel that bond, and hopefully it's going to come soon, but I'm thinking it's going to be like Jack, and it's probably not going to be until they're almost a year old. So I know there are other moms out there like that. Comment down below if you are one of those mamas. I would love to know if you are or not, and things you did that may have helped you bond faster or bond in general. Let me know down below, because I would love some suggestions and some help, because I feel like I am failing at being a mom, and I am failing them. I'm not giving them everything that they need. You know what I mean? Feeding them, changing them. I'm trying. It's just, I feel like I'm failing them every single day. And for myself, like, I have to remind myself to shower. Like, you see makeup on right now. This is the first time I've done makeup since before I went into the hospital. The last makeup tutorial I did for you guys, that's the last time I wore makeup. It's been a long time. Like, I managed to shower like once, maybe twice a week if I am really, really gross, or if I tell myself to. Like, I'll go in the shower and they'll start screaming, and there's better things that I could be doing than showering or washing my face or brushing my teeth. Like, they need me. I have to feed them. That's priority. And I come last. And that's made my depression get worse too, and I understand that. I know that, but there's no way to get past that. I can't tell myself, hey, you need to go shower, or hey, you need to go do makeup. Today was the first day that I told myself I need to wash my face and put on makeup, and here it is. I'm wearing makeup. It has been a long time. I still beat myself up over doing my makeup at the time. It sucked. It's like, hey, Caitlyn, you could be dealing with your screaming babies in the other room instead of leaving them alone to Matt. Like, oh, you're wasting this makeup just to do makeup today when you're not going to be filming. That's what goes through my mind. It's terrible, but that's my life. That's how it is. Yep. And I'm not going on any antidepressants or anti-anxieties because they caused my sex drive to go, like my lady bits dried up like the Sahara Desert. It was ridiculous. And yeah, not going that route because the depression got worse, sex drive tanked, my coochie didn't want anything to do with anyone, like, and yeah, I hated it. So I would rather struggle right now and still not have sex than be kind of okay and not have sex anyways. You know what I mean? Like, I gained too much weight on antidepressants and I'm already gaining weight breastfeeding, so not happening. Just not happening. So depression, lack of bonding, just talked about that. Talked about my weight gain, breastfeeding struggles. So in the beginning, breastfeeding was great. I'm going to put a little clip in here of what it's like breastfeeding twins, or at least what it was like breastfeeding twins. So I had my best friend it was a twin pillow for breastfeeding twins. And it worked amazing for feeding them. Pop them on, both one boob each, swap them out randomly, but it held them perfectly. I could sit there and comfortably and just breastfeed them. Now at 4 months, my boobs can't produce as much milk for them, and they were getting very, very angry and fussy. They would not like how long it took for my letdown to come out, and they just weren't getting enough food. So I crumbled. I cried and beat myself up over it, that I couldn't feed them. But then I kept telling myself, fed is best. Fed is best. Doesn't matter where it comes from. Fed is best. So I had to top them up with formula. I got a Baby Breeza, the Formula Pro, and it's like a Keurig for baby formula. It is a godsend. It's amazing. So if you're ever going to do formula, definitely get that thing because it is heavenly. It has made formula feeding incredible with twins. But the big downfall is now they don't want my boob at all during the day. The only time they'll take my boob is at night. Like when they're half asleep and they're just wanting to suck on it to get some milk. That's the only time they'll take my boob. During the day, I have to pump every 3 hours to get milk out to give to them, and then I have to top up with 4 or 5 ounces of formula. So I normally, in one sitting, I get 2 to 3 ounces each boob, and then on top of that, I have to give them 4 or 5 ounces of formula. So they are fat babies. They are weighing in now at 5 months at 14.2 pounds each. They are chunky monkeys. They are huge. But yeah, I beat myself up over the fact that I had to start formula feeding and topping it up, and now I'm beating myself up over the fact that I've had to formula feed, giving them bottle more, and now they don't want my boob. It sucks. And another thing that sucks is that was probably my last pregnancy. I'm not going to get pregnant again because the risk of having twins and multiples goes up after having multiples. And we already have 3 kids. Matthew doesn't want 4, 5, or possibly 6, depending on how fertile, myrtle, and double dropping I am, you know? So that pregnancy was probably my last. We're not going to have that serious discussion until they're all in school, but I'm pretty sure that was my last pregnancy, and it was a shit show. It was terrible. That was the worst pregnancy. Like, it upsets me so much to think that I won't be pregnant again with a baby. Like, I won't be feeling the kicks or anything like that again, and that I was stuck in the hospital for 3 months missing my son, and I can't risk leaving all 3 of them at home to be put in the hospital again. I got gypped a pregnancy and it sucks. I didn't have the glow or the fun or the family. I just had poking and laying in bed just away from family, and it sucked. So I hate that was my last pregnancy. I liked it. Like, I like being pregnant. I know that sounds terrible. I love feeling the kicks, but that's probably my last pregnancy. and it's very upsetting and it hurts. But I can't do it again. I can't do it to myself. I can't do it to Matt. Nothing like that. Sorry, I kind of got off topic there. Back to breastfeeding. So yeah, breastfeeding twins was good in the beginning, became a struggle because I wasn't producing enough, and then became even more of a struggle because now all they want is bottle during the day. So breast milk bottle and formula bottle. And I just feel like I'm so run dry. Like all I'm doing is washing bottles, washing pump parts, pumping, feeding them the pumped milk. Then it's back again to the pumping and feeding them milk, and there's just no time for anything else. And I've just run into this daily cycle of like, okay, get to bed, bedtime, time for bed, get to bed, okay, bedtime. I've got 10, 15 minutes to tidy up the house, get the house all together, have a few minutes, maybe half an hour of me time, then I can possibly wash my face. Then I gotta get into bed so that I can get possibly a few hours of sleep, maybe 2, before the twins wake up and need their first feeding, and then their next feeding and their next feeding. So they're up at 12, then 3, and then 6. So I don't get me time. I don't get sleep. I don't get anything. And it's the worst at night because one will wake up, I'll breastfeed that one. That one will fall asleep. The next one will wake up. So half an hour breastfeeding one, then half an hour breastfeeding the next, and then I get maybe an hour or 2 before, oh, first one's up again, and then the second one's up. Sorry, I'm like rambling to you, but this is my life. This is how it's been going. And I just want to express to you, I'm no bullshit. Like, this is real, this is raw, this is what's happening. And it fucking sucks. Like, it's terrible. It's terrible. And I'm sorry if you think I'm a horrible mom. I know I'm a horrible mom. I'm a horrible mom for this video, for telling you guys about all of this stuff. But fuck it, like, there's probably other moms out there like me, and hi, how are you? Welcome to the club. Nice to meet you. But yeah, I'm trying so hard. It's just making me a little insane. Okay, next topic. How old are they and their measurements? Already talked about that. I don't have anything else to talk about. Yeah, I've finally got some time to myself right now. I mean, it's what time now? It's 9:42. I should be washed up and in bed, but I'm not. I really wanted to get a video out to you guys because it's been so long. It's been 5 months. I think it's been almost 5 months since I've had a video for you, and it's been needing to be done. I've been asked how I am, how things are going, and I really just don't want to lose anyone on my channel, and I want to share this struggle of what it's been like with you, to see other moms that have gone through this too, or are going through this. Like, I just want to get this out there. So I hope I went through as much as I possibly could with you all. If I missed anything, comment it down below, or if you just have general questions, comment them down below, and the next time I can get a video out, I will answer your questions. I hope it's going to be sooner than 5 months from now. I really hope so. Maybe when they start sleeping through the night, I'll be able to get some proper sleep and be able to film more for you. But right now, this is all I got, bud. This is all I can do, and I'm struggling to do this. So thank you all for sticking around with me. Thank you for still sticking around with me, and hopefully you're here after this video, and I just don't lose a bunch of you after posting this. But I will get back around to being my usual self, but right now I gotta focus on the babies and health. That's what's important right now. Not makeup, not any of that stuff. So I will upload when I can, but I'm not going to stress too much about it. I hope you guys understand. If you want to see more behind the scenes, you can check out the vlog channel, because that takes a lot less effort to upload there than it does my beauty channel. So check out my vlog channel, Reasons to Smile, right there. And you can find more behind the scenes of our family and what life is like, and just how the twins are doing and what they look like now. Because I can't do it on here. Like, I just can't do my whole filming setup and sitting down. It's an ordeal. It's just too much right now. I'm not giving up. I will come back to this. I just want you to know I'm coming back. It's not gone. I just need some me time, need some help with my family. So thank you for sticking through. If you are still watching this, I really do truly appreciate it. And yeah, check out my socials, check out the vlog channel, and comment down below any questions you may have. Until next time, stay beautiful, okay? Bye.
Think about you.